What is up, Williams Baptist University? You're listening to the new Williams Pulse podcast. My name is Nolan Williams. I'm a freshman here at Williams, and I'm joined by staff member Bill Jeffrey. Bill, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Okay, before we get started though, do we have podcast voice?
I don't know. I think it's something that you can get thrown into really easy.
I think so too. I think it's gonna take a few weeks for everybody to get over how fake we sound, but
yeah,
it'll happen. So anyways, in the meantime, I do apologize.
Well, let's get straight into the news. So first of all, we have the Williams Way, which begins this week. I thought the Williams Way was like the 5-point thing.
Well, hey, since you brought it up, pop quiz, Nolan, what are they?
Okay, so I know you have Christ-centered purpose, unwavering tenacity, courageous faith, and selfless sacrifice.
That's 4. There's one more, unless you don't believe in the last one, which is work as mission.
But
maybe you don't believe in that. I work with you all the time. Maybe you just believe in the 4 points. You're
I'm a 4-pointer.
That's a small joke for you theologians out there. But seriously, the Williams Way, WEIGH, is starting this week.
Campus Health will be sponsoring a weight loss challenge. It's designed to get students, faculty, and staff involved in a program to educate and encourage a healthier way of life. So the campaign's not only about weight loss, but getting fit through exercise and healthier eating habits, education, and support to make those sometimes difficult lifestyle changes. And they'll have winners posted and prizes awarded. They have it split out like every 4 weeks and 8 weeks and stuff like that.
I know that because I have won it the past 3 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're going down this time.
Well, I hope so. I hope.
Yeah.
Are you on a team?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I hope y'all win. Hey, it's Monday, and intramural basketball begins today.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Are there any other games going on this week or anything?
Good question. Let me look at WBUeagles.com. And this Thursday, we have the JV basketball team playing Blue Mountain. Right after the game's over, head over to Manley Chapel and get to the PM worship service. And for those who don't know what PM is, what is PM?
It's kind of like chapel. It's a little bit more laid back. You get to know the speaker. They still have the worship service, and it's still a message, but it's not required like chapel is.
Speaking of chapel, this week's chapel speaker is Dr. Marvin Shawnee.
A couple of weeks ago, why didn't they march in with the torch thing?
You mean like when the faculty kicks off the academic year and they walk in with the torch thing that's not on fire?
Last year,
they only do
chapel.
They only do that in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Not in the spring. But what is that thing called? Let's call the academic dean. Let's call Dr. Ryan Putman.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Putman, it's Bill Jeffrey.
How did you get this number?
You're on the Williams Pulse podcast, and you're also on the phone with Nolan Williams.
Hey, Nolan, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. We had a small question for you. At the beginning of last semester, when the faculty marched in, y'all were carrying like a torch type thing. What is that called?
It's called a mace. M-A-C-E, mace.
Well, now
and the mace that we carry in every convocation was actually handcrafted by our former president, Gerald Swain. And maces are part of academic tradition, usually with graduation or with convocation. They were used in medieval times as a weapon when you wanted to come into town and the king would follow behind you. And through the crowd of people, the mace would be used to hit people and knock them upside the head, make sure they didn't touch or come near the king. So we carried that practice on in academia.
Thank you, Dr. Putman, for that wonderful explanation of what it is. Speaking of things we don't know, Nolan, the word of the day.
Ooh.
With Dr. Trevor Babcock. Here it is.
The word of the day is zetetic, adjective, to proceed by inquiry. The zetetic professor asked more questions of us than we did of him.
Thank you, Dr. Babcock. Back to the news. Nolan, what's going on over in residence life?
Yeah, so Hall Wars kicks off this week with a relay. And just a heads up, men's open dorms is next Monday, so be ready for that.
And our final bit of news is if you see some students running around campus after lunch today with Nerf guns, do not be alarmed because this week is Spy Week.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Nolan, what is Spy Week?
A week of hunting down targets. So you get a little Nerf gun and a photo, and you go after your target. And then once you kill your target...
Once you shoot your target, then whoever they have targeted, they pass off to you, and then you go and hunt them down. The last person standing wins a gift card.
I heard last year it was for the Spirit Store.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Oh, and one more thing. Nolan, last week you went to the interest meeting for the Trap Shooting and Outdoors Recreational Club.
So we had our first meeting last Monday, and we're going to have a meeting tomorrow at noon. We're looking at starting a trap team.
With Nerf guns?
Not with Nerf guns. Yeah, so this will be a real trap team. We're also looking at going camping and fishing. So if you want to come to the meeting tomorrow, you can contact Dean Chapman, or if you see me around campus, let us know. We'd love to put you in and plug you in.
That concludes the on-campus news. What about off-campus news?
I'll let you cover that one with the Main Street Pizza.
Because I've been there. Yeah, they increased their buffet price by $1, but listen to what they did. After 4 o'clock every night, they have a Mexican dish menu with like fajitas and all kinds of stuff, and the food was really good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Main Street Pizza. Who would have thought?
I've been there once. I need to go back and check it out, though.
Yeah, it's on Main Street, and it's pizza and Mexican food. Nolan, you ready to move into the next segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
All
WB
right.
Hot Takes.
Hot takes. Here we go. Before we get into these hot takes, here's what they are. These are maybe unpopular opinions, maybe controversial opinions, maybe random thoughts, but we're going to give you a sample of them. But if you go to williamsbu.edu/the Williams Pulse, you can submit a hot take and have it read on the podcast.
What?
That's cool, right?
That is cool.
Well, let's give them a sample of what these hot takes can be like.
Hot take number 1. Classes should not begin until 10 a.m.
Okay,
Hot
I'm
take.
a morning person, so I wish they ended at 10 a.m. and they started at like 5 a.m. That'd be much better for my
That
schedule.
sounds terrible.
For some people like you, sure.
And that's why it's a hot take.
That's why it's a hot take. So you would start at 10 a.m.?
I'll be honest, I really like the class schedule that we have right now. I think that's the perfect time.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why it's not my
What are
hot
your
take.
affiliations here? Who's paying you to say this?
I don't know.
Student government?
Exactly. That's
Okay,
what it is.
okay.
Yeah.
Hot take number 2?
Dr. Walker wears Tim's.
Hot take.
Hot take.
More like fact take, because he does
He
wear
does.
Tim's. Yeah.
I've seen him.
Anything else we need to say about the Dr. Walker wears Tim's?
I think this is really funny because Dr. Walker's first name is Tim, and so it's Tim and Tim's.
Oh, he does. Okay. Very, very well played. We can't call him Tim.
We can't, so it's...
Well, I guess I can. I don't know what the rules are there.
Isn't it like you'll see the dean if you call him a professor by the first name?
Did you hear that, or did you read that somewhere?
I just made it up.
Okay, you just made it up. Okay, hot take. You will see Dr. Ryan Putman if you call a professor by the first name. That concludes our hot takes. Please go submit your own hot takes. All right, Nolan, you ready to move into the last segment?
Kind of nervous about this one.
Okay, this is the only time you're going to have to do this, because in the future, we're going to have another host with us. It's going to be random people, faculty, staff, students, all that. And they're going to be the ones answering these rapid fire questions.
Oh,
And they're not going to know what they are ahead of time.
Yeah.
So they're shooting from the hip on this. Okay, you ready?
just as nervous as I am.
What's your major?
A major. I'm a double major, English and history.
Okay. Next question. What's your favorite thing about Williams?
I love that we're a small school. I love that I can finish drinking my coffee at 7:55 and make it to my 8 a.m. And I love just being able to see people constantly. I know, like, just because of the proximity, I get to know people a little bit better. Like, even if I don't get to sit down and have a meal with them and talk to them, I at least know their face and just, like, saying hi in the hallway and stuff like that. So that's my favorite thing about Williams.
And that concludes our rapid fire question segment. All right. Hey, just one final thing. On February 3rd is a Friday. That is our first spring preview day.
Ooh.
And so if you go to williamsbu.edu/preview, you can sign up there.
Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next week along with our first guest. And who's our first guest?
It is student Kaylee Clark. She just broke the school record for most points in a game. Also, most 3 points in a game. And then she tied the school record with most field goals.
Okay, I thought field goals were in football.
I did too. I do not know what those are.
Okay.
I do plan to look it up between now and next week before we get her on here and look like idiots.
This has been
And will continue to be the
Williams
Williams
Pulse.
Pulse.